right, and I think this is going to be the last one I'm going to do for now. I hope that that last one makes it in. It was just over 10 minutes. I may have to snip somewhere to make it fit. The next one is Isaiah 11, and then I'm going to have to go, although I really wanted to do Isaiah 42. Isaiah 42, the answer is to go to verse 19, and you'll see that the servant, the same servant at the beginning that you think is JC, you'll see in Isaiah 42:19 that that servant is blind, he's without knowledge, he's lost, he's got all kinds of problems. This clearly means that the servant in Isaiah 19, which is the same servant in Isaiah earlier in chapter 42, these are the same servants. And the only way that this fits, certainly doesn't fit with JC, at least what you believe about JC, so we have to look at another possible interpretation, which Israel fits, in my view. Isaiah 11. A shoot will come up from the stump of Jesse, his roots will bear fruit, the Spirit of the Lord will rest upon him, verse 3, and he will delight in the fear of the Lord. Verse 4, but with righteousness he will judge the needy, justice he will give decisions for the poor of the earth. Verse 5, righteousness will be his belt, faithfulness a sash around his waist. You stop there, but you can't. You have to go on to verse 6. The wolf will live with the lamb, the leopard will lie down with the goat, the calf with the lion, the yearling together, and the little child will lead them. I'm assuming you think that the little child must be JC. Well, it's not. It just says a little child will lead them. There's going to be a transformation at that time when the root of Jesse appears. There's going to be a tremendous transformation in which, you know, if you believe this literally, that the wolf will live with the lamb, well, I mean, we have coyotes around here, and we have foxes, and they still steal chickens, and the coyotes, they still, you know, do their coyote stuff. They're not, you know, they're not the good guys yet. That transformation hasn't taken place. So if it hasn't taken place, then this has not yet been fulfilled, and if this has not yet been fulfilled, then this cannot be about JC. It goes on. The infant will play near the hole of a cobra. A young child will put his hand into the viper's nest. Are you telling me that that people have not died from snake bites in the last 2,000 years? They will neither harm nor destroy on all my holy mountain. That's Zion. Do you have any idea what's gone on in Zion for the last 2,000 years? Clearly, this has not happened yet. And the topper of it all, for the earth will be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. Hate to break it to you, but clearly we do not live in that era yet. 2,000 years, Christians have had an opportunity to work on this, and they are working overtime to make sure that this happens. And they got competition, and the competition is kicking their butts now. So, what are you going to do? Verse 11, in that day the root of Jesse will stand as a banner for the peoples. The nations will rally to him, and his place of rest will be glorious. I'm sorry, that did not happen with JC. The nations didn't rally to him. His place of rest has not been glorious. In that day the Lord will reach out his hand a second time to reclaim the remnant that is left of his people from Assyria, because that had already happened at this time, or at least would have happened at that time. And I'm sorry, these things did not. He will raise a banner for the nations, gather the exiles of Israel. He will assemble the scattered people of Judah from the four quarters of the earth. This has not happened. Dream on, this has not happened. Whoever you think is in Isaiah 11, it is not JC. JC did not fulfill these things. You may believe that he will in the future, but until he does, any claim that he is the Messiah based on these ideas, based on this text, is simply wishful thinking and nothing more. Again, on the next one, on number 4, Isaiah 42. Actually, Isaiah 42, 52, and 53 is all the same answer. It's Israel. If you go and look at Isaiah 42 and go up to verse 19, not to verse 9, go to verse 19, you will see that the servant cannot be. In fact, I'm going to just read that verse very quickly here. Verse 1, here is my servant whom I uphold, my chosen one whom I will delight, and I will put my spirit on him. Obviously, he's not God. How do you put the Spirit of God on God? God already is God, and therefore God is Spirit and truth and all that stuff. So how do you put Spirit on Spirit? Anyway, if you're saying that this is JC, then go down to verse 19, and you will see this. It says, "Who is blind but my servant, and deaf like the messenger I sent?" And, a lot of times you see JC in prophecy as the messenger. Well, here's, "Who is blind but my servant, and deaf like the messenger I send? Who is blind like the one committed to me, blind like the servant of the Lord? You have seen many things, but have paid no attention. Your ears are open, but you hear nothing." Now this fits more in line with the kinds of railings against the Jewish people in the Gospels that we read about how they're blind, how they always hear but never perceive, and all this other stuff. If you actually look, here's the kind of language that is being used about the servant. Isaiah 42 is about the servant Israel. It is not about JC. So you want to go to Isaiah 52, it'll be the same story there. It'll be the same story in Isaiah 53. Okay?